It's AKJ from the Anything channel, and today I am going to be reviewing the Xiaomi Redmi 4A. Hey guys, hope you're all doing fine. So today I'm going to be reviewing the Xiaomi Redmi 4A, or as per the Chinese term, the C3. So with that being said, let's get back to the review. So the first thing that we are going to be looking at is the build quality of this phone. This is mainly built with plastic with round edges, which is quite good because it doesn't feel painful when you put it in your back pocket. And it is also slightly rounded from the sides, both sides I mean, with the screen protected with the protective glass, but it is not a Dragon Trail glass or a Gorilla Glass, but it pretty much feels like that. It feels premium, I mean. So yeah, so that wraps up the build quality. And let's take a look at the design. The design that we have got here is a unibody design, and it is pretty much it is a decent design. I mean, not so much like a fancy one, but feels good when you hold it in your hand. And it is, although it is not that slim, but with the design that it has got, it looks good. Now let's check out the 13MP rear camera of this phone. Let's take some pictures of this watch. Let's check the pictures. Okay, some more pictures without flash. Now let's do it again. Let's check out the result. When you zoom in, it is not very clear, even though I am sitting in a very bright place, but still the photos are not good enough. So the camera has a bit kind of disappointed me. And I will also take some pictures with the front camera, but not now. Actually, I will post them on my blog, and I will have the link in the description below, and you can check out some more pictures with the rear camera in sunlight, and also the pictures of the front camera on my blog. So now let's check out the specs and do a benchmarks test. The first thing we get here is the Android version. This device is running the Android 6.0.1 Marshmallow on 64-bit version of it. The CPU model we get here, it is a quad-core ARM V8 processor, and the GPU or the renderer we get here is the Adreno 308. The resolution or screen resolution we get here is 720 by 1280. Now let's look at the camera specs. The camera is a 13MP camera with the resolution of 4160 by 3120. And now let's check out the storage specs. The RAM we get here is 2 GB of RAM. Okay, it is showing 1858 MB, but it is 2 GB. And the available RAM we have is 479 MB. So the system storage space is 9.59 GB. And don't be worried, I've installed some heavy duty apps. That is why it is showing so much less available space. You will get around like 8 or 7 GBs on this one. So the front camera is a 5 megapixel camera, and the resolution you get on the front camera is 2592 by 1944. So looking at the sensors, we get the acceleration sensor, the game rotation vector sensor, the geomagnetic rotation vector sensor, the gravity sensor, gyroscope uncollaborated, light sensor, linear acceleration sensor, the magnetic field sensor, the magnetic field uncollaborated sensor, orientation sensor, and proximity sensor, and rotation vector sensor, the significant motion sensor, and the last sensor we get are the step counter sensor and the step detector sensor. We have checked out the specs, and now we are going to put this phone through the test and see whether it lives up to the specs it has got or not. So the results are in. So the score we have got here is 36,016. We got 2,512 points in 3D. It says the gaming performance is supposed to be mid-level on this phone. And the UX points that we got here, it is 15,156. The points that we got for the CPU are 13,200. So it says it is a middle-end phone and it will satisfy your daily use. So we did the benchmarks test and looked at the specs, and now we are going to test this phone in a real world scenario by playing some games. So we've checked out the gaming performance. It performed quite well in the 2D games and even in Suicide Squad, one of our 3D games, but did not do as well as expected in the Dream League Soccer. So that wraps up the gaming performance on this phone. And now I'm going to show you some cool features on this phone. The first feature which I'm going to show you is the double tap to wake feature. I know it is on many phones and you would know as well, but it is not on phones which you can buy in a tight budget. Like this phone is available in the market for like $113, which is quite cheap, but it still has those features. So what you have to do is go into the settings and then tap on display settings. Then you will see the second last option which reads double tap screen to wake. You will just turn it on and then go back. So what it does is that when your screen is turned off, you don't need to push the power button to wake the screen. You just need to double tap the screen and it will wake it up. The second feature which I am going to show you on this phone is the one hand mode. To avail this feature, you just have to tap on settings and then scroll down, go into the additional settings and scroll once more, and then you will get the option which reads one hand mode. Tap on it and you can choose between the screen sizes of 4 inches and 3.5 inches. So now we will get back to the home screen and I'll show you how it is done. You just have to swap the screen either to left side or to the right side like this, and you will enter the one hand mode. Now what you have in this mode is that you can easily reach to anywhere you want to go on the screen, like here, anywhere you can reach relatively easier than like on the full screen mode. Now let's talk about the pros and cons on this phone. Firstly, let's talk about the cons. And the biggest con in this phone is the rear camera. It is nowhere near a 13MP camera, and the pictures are not as good as I would hope it would have been. And another con on this phone is the GPU. Actually, it is not that kind of bad GPU, but it did not do good enough on the Dream League Soccer game that we played in this video, and which kinda disappoints me. Now let's talk about the pros in this phone. I mean, the display of this phone is definitely very good. It is really sharp, and it is mostly better than any phone in this kind of budget. And the second thing that I'm going to add in the pros is the IR blaster feature. So this is kind of cool feature. Actually, this is a cool feature, and you can now use your phone as a remote controller for your fans and TVs, anything like that, which is actually cool, and it is a handy feature as well. And a pro that is slightly on the end of a pro, but I think it is the front camera. Actually, I like the front camera on this phone. It is a good quality front camera, even though it is a 5MP camera, but still it is really good, and I like it. So that wraps up the pros and the cons on this phone. So now it's the time for the final verdict. What I think of this phone is that it is a quite decent phone in a very low price. It is priced around $113, and this phone has got many good specs. I mean, the screen is quite sharp and it is quite bright, and the processor on this phone is quite good, even though it is a quad-core processor, but you can perform any normal activities that you want to do on this phone with ease. Actually, I don't like the back camera of this phone, even though it is 13 megapixels, but it is just not good. Actually, it is below par. And all in all, it is a great phone in a very low budget. If you are running on a low budget, I would definitely recommend this phone to you. So that's it for the Xiaomi Redmi 4A, and if you like this video, just make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and do not forget to comment, because I will be waiting anxiously for your comments. And that is it. Thank you very much for watching this video.